Good morning, good morning. Here we go again. Ready. GLTO is coming on the scanners. It's like we do have news. Nice 100% pop, honestly. I believe this is a low float, yeah. Acquisition. Unfortunately, it doesn't give a buyout price. I mean, this says acquisition. Well, no, this isn't a buyout from this company. This company is acquiring another company. Okay. Still very impressive pop on this news. We'll see how much of it holds up. The stock had a very big move in the past as well. So definitely worth keeping watch on this one, I think. We have Gree. Made a sizable move, but it's mostly given it back. It's probably out of play for now, but could certainly bounce back. Yeah, after this initial pop, this thing kind of just sold off gradually. And now on news, we're just seeing 100% move. I mean, nice way to start the day. We also had SELX. This one's kind of coming back, but it also had a very nice pop. Go ahead and get rid of my Friday watch list here for stocks that are no longer in play. CO. Yeah. Very impressive. It's kind of holding up here. Right, we had like a very micro pullback, but then a second leg. Very, very impressive. I didn't really want to jump on this because 100% extension in this kind of market didn't really seem safe. But the low float plus the catalyst seems to be at least somewhat holding up for it to resolve after this bounce. We are seeing increasing volume as well. The volume isn't crazy high though, which is a bit strange, right? I would expect for 1.3 million float, this kind of volume would be significant, but not 100%, 150% move. Good morning, BKM. I wanted to try a little slower start just to kind of get into the groove, but looks like I might need to jump on this early if we see a decent setup on a pullback. I don't really want to buy a second leg here. It just feels very extended right now. If we see a pullback and this volume continues down, though, because honestly, these two candles of pullback so far aren't terrible, right? This volume is lower. though, I will want to size down, I think. All right, this thing, I mean, it's moving 100% plus, and it's a bit more expensive too, so I don't think I can take normal size on it. Even half size might be a bit aggressive. I really wanted to see 1/3 candle pullback, but it might just not be giving it. Yeah, we did have the reduced volume on these candles, but I just thought another micro pullback would be too aggressive. I mean, people were willing to jump on this really quickly here. Maybe a bit too ambitious, but who knows? I mean, what is the range on this too, right? 1070 to 1290. So this thing's ranging like over $2 a candle. Very, very volatile. Struggling a bit here, but I mean, volume's still high. There could be, this could be a pivot point just because this volume was high. We didn't get this clean resolve. Also, this pop was slightly premature. So this looks like there's at least contention here. But the fact that the bulls were willing to step up this aggressively with only a micro pullback could also be bullish. I don't think it's safe to get in here for me, but this doesn't look weak. It looks like there's some strength, some weakness. I mean, 5 minutes, it's gone just straight up. And it's, I mean, the news catalyst isn't crazy, right? Just announces acquisition. That's not a crazy catalyst. So this is more likely just a short squeeze play on a very low cap stock. Or low float stock. Where does this put us right now? So there was some level of consolidation here. Like the 1275 to 1080. So a drop, yeah, 1080, it kind of makes sense. We were kind of in this range from back here. Then the next would be around this 880s, which is probably somewhere around here. Sort of. Very nice to see this holding up, though. SCLX is kind of pulling back here. So the other 100% gainer does seem to be giving it back. It's just kind of grinding. See, part of my worry too is if I get in on a pullback here, like it's possible right now someone's getting short squeezed out. And with it being this extended, if the price eventually stops going up, it's possible whoever was short squeezed out is just out. And then any pullback has no actual momentum behind it because the news catalyst is mid. And yeah, it's just so extended, right? It's up nearly 200%. Yeah, no, I mean, it's tempting, right? You have the FOMO to chase. It's been cold for so long. This is wonderful, though. Seeing this kind of move on Monday should give you confidence that, or at least to me, it gives me more confidence that the next move that moves now has a higher chance of working, just because everyone is seeing this, right? You're seeing a stock up, like, what is this? Nearly 300%. Absolutely insane. Yeah, this feels like a short squeeze. It really does. 200,000. Somebody, well, you say somebody's getting rich. I would argue somebody just lost everything. But yeah, there's probably some people that got rich too, but I just couldn't really, knowing that we've been in a cold market for so long, I just feel like this is just such an aggressive setup to buy. But yeah, this thing ended up peaking over 300%, so that's extremely impressive. Yeah, I think this justifies, if we see even a decent catalyst, I think I'm going to at least attempt a more aggressive setup today, if we get an opportunity. Right, we've had two. We had SELX. This one's rolling over now, but it did end up going up around 130, 140%. And this one has gone up over 300%. This is a strong indicator. TOS isn't allowing you to buy. It sounds typical. No, I know that Thinkorswim has been restricting some of the lower floats lately. They've been becoming more selective of who's allowed to actually trade this stuff, which doesn't really feel right to me. But they probably just see it as a risk factor because they have payment for order flow. They have a middleman, and that middleman probably could be getting destroyed on stuff like this. So yeah, ask you to, I mean, like, it's such a terrible thing too, because it's like, you're not going to sit there on the phone for 25 minutes to place a buy order. You're going to pay like what is it, like $40 or something for a manual call placed order. And then like you'd have to sell again. There's just no way. At that point, it's a joke that it's quote unquote free commissions. I can't realistically buy this pullback, no matter how good the setup looks. Like we're having lower volumes of candle pullback here, but this is, I mean, it's up like 250%. I can't buy this here. It's just too high. I'd be just straight up chasing the move, I feel. But yeah, if we get another opportunity, I'm going to return share size because I don't plan on trading this, at least not at this price range. But yeah, if we see another stock moving and the setup looks decent, I might take a more aggressive setup today. Just give it a shot, right? If it fails, then I just accept that I was wrong and move on. Take like the $10, $20 loss, whatever it is. But yeah, this feels like it's at least worth trying to trade a bit more today for me. What a move, got 150 a share win before the 18 share loss. Yeah, I hope you mean 18 cent share loss. No, I mean, that's awesome, man. I just felt too afraid to jump on this one. I've been in conservative mode for so long. And honestly, there was nothing even like crazy clean about any of these entries. This is just a micro pullback. Given how cold the market had been to this point, something squeezing 100% could have just as easily rolled over. This one was a little cleaner because you did have 2 minutes of pullback. Although we didn't have a clean new low setup here, but you did get a 1 minute high. So this is probably the only real clean setup. I just feel that getting in here would be very aggressive because you're buying near the top. And to be fair, for the next minute, it struggled. So there was a little bit of indecision here. But that's probably the only real safe buying place, in my opinion. And I mean, if you're buying at the top on a stock that's up like 150, 200%, it just doesn't feel like something I would want to do. It hit 30 in November. Yeah. I guess you can't see because my face is covering it. I'll just pull this up here. But yeah, this thing had a pretty crazy move like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, and right, it's a very low float. So, because the catalyst is mediocre and it made this monster of a move, the only thing that I feel realistically could be is a short squeeze. I mean, hopefully this thing holds up, because if we can have it hold up, it's going to give massive momentum to the next stock in play, I feel. That's crazy. What the heck, dude? It's 18 to 24. This thing went up 400%. I gotta note this. Sanity, man. I actually am so surprised how well this is doing. This is great. By the way, even though I'm experiencing FOMO, this is great. I just love that we're actually seeing some kind of excitement return. Like on Friday, when the most exciting thing to look forward to was a stock moving like 25%. And then just like creeping up like 2 cents every minute. Like when that's the most exciting thing to look forward to, this is really a breath of fresh air. Actually seeing something resolve. Okay, we're saying like what maybe a 1 minute high is. I still just, I mean, I can't touch this here. This is way too extended. I mean, I guess the one other tip-off, right, is that because this historically made a massive move a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you could say that that could be one reason to give it more of a chance, but I just think the market context was too cold. This volume was relatively light, too. Go, baby, go. Let's see how high this thing can go. All right, we got 9 minutes till the half hour. Half hour is going to be really important here. If we see a catalyst or something moving, I might just jump on it early if it looks even half decent. This is really the conviction that a lot of people, I think, are looking for here. Okay, we had a high of 26. Yeah, so we've retraced $4. Yeah, these moves are extremely volatile now. We've been like $3-4 a candle. I mean, hey, good luck to anyone who's going to try trading this to the front side, but I'm not going to touch it. Yeah, to me, I mean, maybe this buyout was stronger than I expected. Yeah, buying is now, yeah, buying is now gambling. Probably, yeah. We are continuing to see low volume on the selling, so this still does look bullish. But in my head, I'm just thinking, if whoever is being squeezed is out, this thing's probably going to flush. Whenever they are out, this thing's done. That's the only thing going through my head right now with this. I mean, we're having a clean setup here for a 1 minute high. I mean, it's super extended, but we'll see. At this point, I don't really know what to think of it. 5 minute, it kind of looks like we're having a topping tail potentially forming here. One other thing that could be going through my head is these final candle spikes was the last of them getting out. So if there was a return to high, I would say the odds of a continued move are actually more realistic. But if this just fizzles here, I'm actually not expecting... Right, if we break back down to like 17, 18, 19, I would argue that maybe whoever has been covering is finally fully out. Continued low volume. We did have this 1 minute low, but it was on very low volume. So it could be a bear trap here. A bear trap when it's up 350%. Yeah, we're seeing some congestion now, some noise. On suspiciously low volume though. I would actually maybe argue that some bears are afraid to buy here. That might be why the volume's lower. Right? Like, if this guy's out, maybe some people are still buying for a leg higher. Bears are slightly afraid to get aggressive on this. Even on the 1 minute breakdown, the volume didn't spike. So I think bears are a bit afraid to touch this as well. I think a lot of people were afraid to touch it. Right, I mean, to be fair, this thing went up like $30, so it historically has moved more than this. AMOD had a spike. We got 720. Oh no. Settles lawsuit at 7. What's the float on this? So 41 million float on AMOD. It's a bit higher. It is cheaper though. If we see volume come in on this, this could be worth maybe trying. The lower float does kind of hurt it a bit, but I'm more so just looking for the next clean move. Could be the next runner, if this momentum from GLTO can carry through. But this doesn't look like the cleanest opportunity. Although volume has been increasing. If we see significant volume and it's coming back to the highs, maybe worth giving it a try. Just looking at the daily, we did have like one spike, but it immediately sold off over the coming days. Welcome, Latif. Welcome. Yeah, GLTO had a monster move, went up 400%. Insane move. SELX was up over 120%. It's given back most of the move, though. Well, I say most of the move. It's still up 72%. And GLTO. I think the move's done. There is a chance that they're not out and then this could squeeze higher. But I mean, this thing's already gone up so much. It's hard for me to say this could make another high. Okay, AMOD coming down hard here. I'm actually going to take just a small size, only 100 shares. This is a bit lower because this is normally normal size, but it's a cheaper stock. This feels like a slight overextension, and since we did just have that massive move, I'm willing to give myself some more exposure here. We're also at 7:30, so we'll see if anything else comes on watch. Right, seeing this leg down on this low volume felt bullish, just looking at it. The only problem is the volume is still somewhat light. That does throw me off. Probably just looking for something like 124, 123. Return to this high. Another thing I'm worried about too is, again, just this volume makes me not confident. The volume plus the float, right? The float is also 40 million, or outstanding shares is 40 million. So this is going to struggle to make bigger moves because it's cheaper and higher shares outstanding. But I at least got some exposure here. We'll keep this up. We're going to Vero. Have news on it. Vero. Okay, receives 510K for the Venus Nova. Kind of a nothing burger catalyst, if I'm being honest. Extremely low price stock, though. This feels somewhat beat up. Around 230s. This is resistance level. This did end up popping. $100,000 in volume. I wanted it to break down to 245s for an entry there. Didn't quite give me that clean entry. And it's going without me. I said I was going to be more aggressive, but I still looked for the safe entry. So my conditioning for the last 3 weeks is now holding me back, it looks like. It's just squeezing straight through. And this was the right one to get aggressive too. The float was so low on this one. News again was kind of mid. Not really great news. But just people are willing to take more risk here. Very frustrating. Oh, I was like holding my finger on the buy button. I was looking for 245 here to get in. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's conditioning. I'm looking for safer entries, exits right now. And these things are giving micro pullbacks. They're not even giving full pullbacks right now. I'll try getting a starter here. It's a little aggressive, but I at least want to try it. This pullback was on lower volume. Well, I mean, the last 3 weeks we've been conditioned to be more patient. Like, this feels like an aggressive entry for me, but at this point, there's a slight... This felt like a slight overreaction. I at least want to try it. Volume picking up more. See if this one ends up just rolling over. Yeah, I see IFRX. I'll switch to it here if this one ends up just not working. This is a mix of Lightspeed and Thinkorswim. Using Thinkorswim for the charting, Lightspeed for execution. Okay, I'm actually going to cut this. I'll tell you why. These stocks have been running with very little pullbacks, and the fact that this thing pulled back on somewhat higher volume and it's struggling to make that new high. I'm not sure how much conviction I have in that. Okay, so let me go ahead and swap over to IFRX here. What the heck happened with this one? So immediate spike down to 90, followed by a complete recovery instantly. What the heck? Okay, positive phase 2 data. So I guess people thought it was bad and it wasn't. Float is a bit higher. Just looking at the daily, 170s. We're well above that. I mean, even the 190s, we're above that. So, I mean, next clear one would be like 270, maybe 220. Worth noting, Vero did end up going back near the highs. So there was a 50-cent opportunity there. Yeah, there's massive opportunities today. I feel kind of sad that I missed out on Vero, but I gave it a little bit of time. I really wanted to see this micro pullback just immediately slingshot back up. But no, it's clearly held well. For IFRX, seeing a bit of a pullback here. There was high volume on this candle. Could be selling pressure bringing it back. I probably want low 160s. Would that be realistic for an entry? Maybe not. Probably like 170s, low 170s. It's too volatile. I mean, this could just be a hot day, though, right? GLTO had a monster move, right? Up 400%. Short squeeze, likely. So anything else? Like, this one's not a low float, so it's not as high of a contender. It's very strange that it did a complete breakdown, then complete recovery. But no, I think today it's worth at least attempting more aggressive trades. If it doesn't work out, like that trade on Vera was a little more aggressive. But this just might be the day that I think I should take more exposure. I'm still not trading very aggressive in terms of trade numbers, right? I mean, I've only taken 2 currently. 2 within the first 40 minutes is still very low, but I'm still watching AMOD on a side chart, by the way. I haven't just stopped watching it. Okay, Vero pulling back again. Yeah, I'm worried this one's not going to resolve as nicely. This one struggled to make the new high. It actually needed a 1-minute pullback setup. And then we have this very high volume on these candles. I mean, this one's not as high as these. Still somewhat bearish, though. It's not as strong as the GLTO setup. I don't know if I actually feel super confident buying here. Feels like bulls may have gotten too aggressive on this one because of GLTO, and it seems the bears, or there's just not as many bulls. Whatever the reason is, it doesn't seem like there's as much bullish overpowering, right? You're seeing this struggle here, you're seeing this sell-off here. A lot more struggling. With that said, this isn't a terrible entry, right? It has pulled back. If we saw a second leg down and the volume stayed low, I think I would take that, though. Yeah, the IFRX play, I'm probably not going to touch it. Float's a little high. The move seems a bit weird to me. And I feel like a sucker for just being red today. I mean, I had the opportunity, right? I was wanting to buy a 245, but I was a little too conservative, not willing to punch it, and I missed out on $1 per share move. I mean, I wouldn't have captured this whole thing. I would have sold it like 50 cents, but still. Yeah, we're seeing this further breakdown. I'm going to punch it here. This is an early entry again. This is aggressive, but I got to try to be more aggressive today. This breakdown was weak. There was low volume on it, so I'm willing to take a stab at it. Even on this flush, the volume is so light. Out here. There's like a 17,000 share seller here, 54. I feel like it's struggling. Oh, I'm out. Yeah, so I don't regret trying it. We saw a somewhat weak breakdown here, and on the next breakdown it was lower volume, so I wanted to give it a try. Seeing that there was a large seller here, the seller got bought up, and then the price wasn't resolving. Looks like it could be continued selling pressure. So this is 2 losses. No, is this... Yeah, this is 2 losses on this now, trying to... So I tried to take this first one. Looked a little weak, but I tried it. We're seeing some more weakness. I probably should just not touch this one anymore. It's 2 losses on it. Yeah, 13-cent loss on double size. So we did end up seeing the breakdown. Like, the volume is still so light, though. That's kind of the frustrating thing. But yeah, I'm not going to touch this anymore. I tried trading more aggressive on it. I got punished. But no, seeing how light this volume has been on this breakdown, and even on this one initially, it was weaker. The only reason I got out, again, was because it looked like there was a large seller, 254 to 256. Yeah, I think I just gotta let it go. I might need to bail on AMOD too. So this was me setting up for a longer term play to see if we could get a slow gradual climb up because the volume was lighter. Doesn't look like we're getting that. Just a slow gradual push down. Volume has been lighter too, but keep an order out here. See if anyone takes it for a $2 loss, but COGT. Okay, so this looks like a buyout. Phase 3 study. When did this happen? 7:45. Okay, maybe it's not a buyout. Maybe it's just that it was halted pending news and their phase 3 study thing ended up being good. So, how should I react to the next stock? Because I wanted to trade more aggressive. I was really waiting for a safe pullback. I was like 5 cents off the entry here. Got punished for not being aggressive. I tried to be more aggressive on this next pullback. I was correct, but it hesitated. And that shook me out. And then on the third attempt, on what may have been just the backside, I tried double size, averaging in. And I got punished for that. It might seem crazy. If we see even a decent setup, I think I should just punch it even if the price is high at the front side of the move. So if these are really just people buying anything that moves initially, it could just be that this is going to be an overextension and the backside is just going to be unsafe. So that's going to be my plan. I mean, it's variable strategy, right? Like, it really depends on the market, and like with what I'm doing here, normally I would wait for a cleaner pullback. We seem to be getting really nice resolutions. At least we've had 2 stocks that have had pretty nice moves. So normally I'd be more patient. I was willing to be more aggressive today, just because it seems like today was a higher opportunity day. Unfortunately, I'm 3 for 3 in the red, at least currently. Even if I get out at the current price I have here, I'm going to be 3 for 3 red. But that's part of me trying to shake it off, because like, I was too conservative on the entry of Vero. I didn't even touch GLTO because it just didn't give a clean pullback for me. I'm just waiting to see what that sells at. But yeah, I mean, today's more of an observation day and me testing out things, because this could be just a one and done where the market's just not going to be hot. But if we see another stock like GLTO do something like this, where it moves and it holds up decently, like even now, even though this thing's pulled back, it's still holding up nearly 300%. So if we see stocks continue to do something like this, this is just going to be reinforcement to take the foot off the brake. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm kind of in a pivoty state right now, where I'm trying to understand if I should be more aggressive or less aggressive. Like the Vero, my conservative entry hurt me here instead of jumping on it right away. I didn't actually say it, but I was also considering this breakdown here. The volume was lighter on the pullback. I was too worried about it rolling over. But like, considering GLTO was the last move and it went up massively, there could be some argument. Like, even just any overreaction in a pullback, there could be an argument just to jump on it, even a minor one. At least those are the thoughts that are going through my head right now. We'll see how I do at 8 o'clock, if any news comes out on it. I'm a bit afraid right now, but I mean, I'm not even down that much, so I think I need to keep the pressure on. I need to keep trying. Don't see Vero turning. Yeah, that's what I was saying with how once we saw several signals that this thing was reversing. Well, that's why I got out early here, right? So we saw this initial pullback, kind of a bigger pullback. I got in. Honestly, my entry was pretty good. I got in at like 290. Had I held it for 2 minutes, this would have been a great resolve. 70-cent winner. But the issue is that it hesitated for too long, and I was worried that the bulls got too aggressive, right? We did have this topping tail. This pullback was a bit extended, and it was struggling. But then whenever I saw it resolve, and I was wrong, in my head, I think I mentally shifted the mindset of, okay, you were shaken out of this trade, and you're wrong. The momentum continued. So when the next pullback happened, I said, okay, let's give it more room. Let's be even more aggressive. So I actually averaged in when I was seeing that the pullback was still on lighter volume. But then when I was seeing that it wasn't immediately popping, we were seeing this, what looked like a hidden seller around 54, 56, and then the price is continuing lower. I was seeing too many signals that it was reversing or that the move was burned out. No, and it's not even a terrible day, right? Being down $34 unrealized, it's not terrible. It's frustrating that I'm red on what is basically a super green day, or at least the potential for a super green day. COGT. So this phase 3 trial thing looks like it's moving pretty nicely. All right, we had a slow grind up. Now we're having some people jumping in on it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to wait for the 8 o'clock news, see if we get anything. Well, it would make it a more solid entry, but the problem is the MACD is probably not even showing that. Or rather, the entire part of GLTO was probably positive MACD. All right, this entire thing, like this would have definitely been positive. This would have been positive. Basically, the only time that MACD would have been negative, it would have probably even been positive here. It would have probably only have been negative once we got to around here. So you look for 80 EMA to be above 20 EMA. Yeah, I mean, anything that would be the EMAs above each other would be a strong bullish trend. I agree. But the question really is how aggressive should I be right now? Like, I mean, the front side of the move is probably the correct place to be looking, since that's where most of the squeeze or hype is right now. ARWD. It's moving, but the volume's too light. Stay defensive today. I disagree. If it means I'm red, I think that's fine. But I want to push it. I want to push it more today. If there's things that move. Even if this is just a one and done day, the fact we've had two stocks squeeze up significantly on this. What is this kind of 220 to 360? This is like a 70%, 60% squeeze. And the 400% GLTO. I think it's worth at least trying. Yeah, fear greed meter has reached weird. It is weird. I agree. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying like only today might be worth at least trying. Because the problem is this could be a weird one-off situation, then we go back to cold. Right, GLTO was the catalyst. People might be aggressively just jumping on stuff like Vero, and that might be why Vero was a little less clean, right? This one didn't resolve immediately. And then we eventually saw the bears overtake. And unfortunately, this could mean now that the next stock that pops, people will see Vero struggle. Vero made some move, but people saw that it struggled after the second leg. So this could indicate that the next move has even less momentum. I think there's a valid case for that. Yeah, weird is a good way to describe it. I think I'm willing to give another shot, though. There were, so like the first one, I don't know if you just came in, but the first entry that I was trying to take was a conservative entry. It would have been an amazing fill, but this just didn't give a clean pullback. Second one was a somewhat aggressive entry, but I saw it struggle, so I bailed. It did end up working. And that was a signal to me to be more aggressive and be more patient. So I bought and I averaged in, and then I held longer. And unfortunately, it was at the backside of the move at that point. So saying if it was good entries is kind of hard to say, really. Now we're waiting to see if anything comes up. Yeah, saying if they were good entries or not, I feel like this day is very subjective. Would squeeze with a 6.7% short float. I mean, it went up for some reason, right? So it could have just been the bit of a short squeeze plus the extremely low float, right? I assumed that the short squeeze was the main catalyst. It could be. Another thing to keep in mind too is I don't know where you're getting your data from, but a lot of times short data is delayed reporting. So that could be outdated, right? If you look at GLTO, just while we're waiting for scanners, if you look at the daily, like you say it's 6.7%, when was that updated? Because seeing how this has climbed down this whole time, I would not be surprised at all if people were shorting as this was going down. So if your data was reported from back here and it's shorting, it would make sense that it would be higher. Short data, I always kind of take with a grain of salt. Fintel very delayed. Yeah, so yeah, it's very possible that your data was from here. I mean, it could have been from here. It's really hard to say because they do like monthly data or bi-monthly or something. But yeah, it's possible it was delayed data, and that I would actually suspect that the short float would be higher just because the price went basically straight down over the next several weeks. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything on the scanners yet, unfortunately. Still waiting on that. Well, I mean, like the last few weeks, right? I'm looking at how this thing squeezed 3 weeks ago, and the last week or two after that, the price went down significantly. Even now, it's kind of gone down. To me, that says that people were, I mean, either bailing or shorting, or for whatever reason, the price is being driven down. And it doesn't look like dilution, because dilution would be just like straight down. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything popping up here. IFRX did do a bit of a bounce. I'm still not super interested just because the float is so much higher. Right, it's kind of churning a little bit more. Okay, you had loop, but it looks like this thing just completely pump and dumps. Right, anybody who tried to get on this squeeze looks like they got absolutely brutalized. Yes, this was 8 o'clock news, so... Yeah, this is pretty rough to see it reject this hard. It is a higher float, too. Okay, we have move. This is a micro. Press release. So this was halted and it just resumed. I tried to get in there. I saw it get bought up right here. It's so frustrating. I tried to buy 100 shares right here. I couldn't get filled. would have been a crazy good entry. I'm gonna reduce size. We'll give this another shot here. This has the right float to move. Just getting crushed today. I'm not getting these fills either. I just tried to buy again there. Where are my entry attempts? 738. Yeah, that would have made my average around 950, 940, or 850, 840. Yeah, it looks like I got too squeezed on the hype here. Yeah, I gotta bail out. Alright, we're at max loss. We're done for the day. But I still wanted to give this a try today. I think it was worth it, even though it failed. So, this was a much more aggressive setup trying to buy this micro pullback. At the time, it would have been a micro pullback. Considering this went from 12 down to 930s. If this thing had returned, there was potential for $3, $4, $5 a share. And the criteria were here. It was a very low float. But yeah, it just didn't work. Thinking about GLTO, this was what gave me the confidence to try testing today. With Vero, I was getting punished for not being aggressive enough. Tried being more aggressive, got shaken out, and then proven wrong as it went higher. Then I tried being more aggressive here, failed. And then move, I tried trading and buying here on this pullback, but it just kept failing. So this may have just been a one-off because it seems like things are failing more. I mean, I'll stick around to see how things go for the next 30-40 minutes, but I can't trade anymore. I'm at max loss. Very frustrating. Hey, this will make for a great recap today. At least there's that. Still felt like a decent setup. It's just complete rejection. What was my entry? It was like 9:30 something. 3, 5. I think it should be around 9:31. Yep, about 9:31. Geez, rough day for me. Vero bid and ask. Okay, so it did end up curling a bit here. Oh, BKM, that's just late reporting. Some brokerages report late, so it'll show up as on the tape as like trying to see if so you see some of these that are going through at 5. That's oh no wait, that's move. Vero. See if I can find any that come through here. But sometimes they'll report data that came through here later on. So you can actually, sometimes brokers will fill orders way back here, but they won't actually report it on the tape right away. You can actually have it delayed in some cases. A lot of orders will go through at 8 o'clock normally. So 8 AM EST. GLTO does look like it's curling. I mean, maybe loop could have been the smoking gun for me, because this was one that popped and immediately died. This could have been the end of anyone giving it a chance. Right, you figure this popped up 100%, over 100%, then immediately over the next 3 minutes completely capitulated. I mean, this was a lower or higher float, right? Yeah, this was a higher float, so this one didn't meet the criteria. Move did. Man, that's crazy to think that I still got, relative to like this, Still managed to dodge like $2 a share of loss. That's going from $12 all the way down to $5.50. It's insanely brutal. Yeah, this one might be a bit later of a recap for me posting it, because, yeah, I'll definitely want to think about this more, because very unique situation. Euro kind of selling back off. Yeah, I mean, just context, like, surface level. I don't disagree with me trying. It might have looked like I was trading a bit reckless, but I think there was good reason to think that this could have been the start of the shift. And while I'm down 150 today, if that one play had resolved, and it's actually very frustrating too. I had this happen with Vero, where I tried to get filled, here, didn't get it, and then on move, I tried to get filled somewhere around here, and I didn't get it. If I had gotten filled here with 50 shares, or no, it was 100 because I was trading more aggressive here. I was trying to average up. If I had gotten 100 shares here, right, 830 to 12, that's potential for like $400 of profit. That context, considering I'm down 150, but I could have had potential for 400. Hey, good stuff. Happy joints. I'm happy for you. No, and anybody who's holding and hoping this, they've just been getting crushed. Like, I felt like I had a terrible exit with 692, right? I got out like here. And now the price has dropped like another 250. $3. Now, today was the day to try, I think. Maybe I was too aggressive with my exposure. It could have been one thing to say, just trade the front side more aggressive with entries, but not necessarily the size, because I was trying to increase size as well. So maybe I was putting my foot on the gas a little too hard. Right? Because I had a 200 share position here. I took a 50 share position here, and you might think 50's half size is fine, but the context of the volatility, right? This thing moved in 1 minute from $8 to $12, $4 move. Even half size feels like a bit overexposed there. So I may have been oversizing too much. Right, because if I had taken quarter size, this would have been like a $70 loss on the day. Maybe a little bit more realistic. We got 9 minutes till a half hour. VCIG looks like it tried to pop, but it kind of rolled over. Okay, but no news on it really. So this is kind of just no news volume spikes. Jumping the gun, seeing big green candle. I think it's going to go up. Or 85% of all morning caps pop like that, die within 10 minutes of popping. I would agree normally. I do think GT or GLTO gave different context, right? If this was a normal day, even just like a warm day, I would agree with you that just buying a spike, and to be fair, I'm not just buying the spikes, right? I'm trying to wait for pullbacks. Like my entry, right? So VC, what was it, VCRG? Vera, VERO, right? All of my entry attempts, I tried to enter here, I entered here, I entered here. All of them were on pullbacks. None of them were at the highs. And same thing with move. I tried to enter here, and I entered here. So I'm not chasing. So saying that I'm buying a pop, I wouldn't agree with that. The fact that move has rolled over this hard. So, well, I mean, it's kind of interesting. So GLTO, we had the spike. Vero looked like the next contender. It had somewhat of a spike, but you could see that it wasn't as clean, and then it ran out of steam. This could have been a signal that the theme of low floats popping isn't going to hold up. Then you had loop, which was a high float, died immediately. Then you had move, which did fit the criteria, and it attempted another spike, but it also died immediately. So anyone who's continuing to chase this theme looks like they're getting brutalized right now. Yeah. I'm not going to post my recap right away. I'm going to kind of sit and think over this for a couple hours. But yeah, I don't regret trying, but I do think maybe I was too aggressive. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting from this. And it sucks too. I just made a video about how I'm surviving the cold market, and now I'm going to be down, like, what? I'm going to be down like $80 gross or something. Is what it is. All right, we got 5 minutes till the half hour. See if anything comes out. Haven't had a max loss for like 5 weeks now or something. 5-6 weeks. When was the last time I had a max loss? I posted it on the channel. Let's see. Videos. Last time I had a loss was over a month ago. Let's see what. October 1st. So yeah, about a month and a half ago, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. That's the last time I had a max loss. And I'm not, yeah, I appreciate you listening. And I'm not saying my way of thinking is right. Right? It's all, a lot of it can be subjective. I'm trying to make rational arguments for the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, this is a very subjective field, right? Day trading has a lot of subjectivity, interpretation. So you could just as well say GLTO, great move, but we're in a cold market, so I think it's unrealistic to size up and trade aggressively right now. You could have said that, and like your your experience, your thoughts could just as well be true. Do I trade much after the open? No. I used to, but I found more success trading pre-market than during market hours. Mainly just because that's whenever a lot of the news catalyst-driven moves come out. SOC looks like it's moving, so we can look at it. $250 million private placement. Very nasty flush here. 740 down to 6. See, we're definitely seeing movement today. It just doesn't feel like it's very clean movement. Move is moving. Let's see it. Let's see the move recovery phase. I mean, it is moving, but it went down so much. Keep in mind, this thing is an extremely low float, right? Less than 1 million total shares. $5.40 to $6.40, so a dollar move. Yeah, if this thing ends up recovering all the way back to 12, I am going to be a bit triggered. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be a bit triggered if it's going to go all the way back. But no, I still don't regret getting out, no matter what happens. Right? Holding through this much pain. The volume was high this whole time. I should be happy, too, that I sized somewhat appropriately, because if I had not reduced size, seeing the volatility, like if I took 200 shares and 930, whatever, and I held it till 6, or we'll just say 7, right? That would have been like a $500 loss if I didn't size correctly. GLTO is breaking out, if anyone's just interested in that. This one looks like it could be making a return here. Right, it's curling a good bit on higher volume. Probably shorts take profit. I wouldn't be surprised. Very frustrating today how some... I think it's also... I did get unlucky with a lot of fills today. I was trying to buy some of these dips. There was at least 2 instances where I had a great fill potential. Like if I got filled, it would have been a great resolution. And I just didn't get filled on them, right? So with the Vera move, missing the fill right here was huge. Because within the next minute, this thing would have went up almost $1. Then I probably would have captured at least 50 cents of that. And the move, if I had gotten filled here, that also would have been a pretty crazy hit. So A bit unlucky, combined with me being a bit too aggressive, I think is what resulted in this. Just waiting to see if anything comes on the scanners. We didn't really have anything at 8. An IVI, maybe. Let's see what that one looks like. Is that not the ticker? An IVF. Okay, it's moving, but it's a much cheaper stock. Yeah, I was about to say 19-second chart. That's a very interesting chart to be watching. The 19-second chart. Yeah, even on the 1 minute, you can see it's kind of basing a bit. The crazy thing is, even if I had sold at the top of this spike, me bailing when I did would still have been a better option. Yeah, I know. I just... just hearing the 19-second chart just sounded funny to me. .75 second chart gives good insights. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Have you seen the pie? The pie chart? You know, the 3.14 chart. Keep watching for a bit longer here just to see if anything else is like worth looking at. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna be done here soon anyway. Like, I'm not trading anymore, like I said, but I don't really see anything else popping up on the scanners, so I just might call it early today. Man, it's gonna be so humiliating posting this video today. I just made a video saying how I'm surviving this cold market, and now I'm gonna be posting a max loss. I guess this is the brag to get bodied combo. Talk about how you're doing well, then immediately get destroyed the next day. Yeah, it's 6 minutes after the half hour. I'm not seeing anything else coming in on the scanners. So I'm probably going to end it here. Yeah, move looks like it could be curling. It's forming a new base. It is a super, super low float too, so that's worth keeping in mind as well. But yeah, very, very impressive move with GLTO. If it can hold up, that'll be very promising. Very frustrating for me, missing some of my fills, getting some very poor fills. And yeah, there was just a lot of flushes, and today was a day to not be on the backside of these moves. These were some pretty brutal flushes, right? Loop was also very destructive. I'm sure there's probably some people that jumped on this because they just saw it was moving. And, I mean, you could have lost 50% of whatever you had in the trade within 2 minutes. Like, to me, that's insane. You're holding at 630? I mean, good luck, man. There's a chance it could recover, right? I mean, we saw this thing moving $4 a minute earlier. So there's a chance it can come back. I wish you the best, man. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. You guys have a good rest of your day. I'll do the recap. It'll probably be a bit later today, just because I want to, think it over a bit more.